Hi, I'm Daniel Clasing.
And I'm Caitlin Sverlock.
And this is How to Break the Event Horse. This is my 3-year-old Irish sport horse by Harlequin. He's going to be our test horse for this training log.
Dan just bought him over at the Monarch sale in Ireland, and he came to us without a name, so if anyone has suggestions, but we've been calling him Dude in the barn, because that seems to suit his personality.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lunge him in the stall. The boundaries, the edges of the stall, keep the horse a little bit quieter, keep them more subdued, so then I don't have to worry about him getting away from me. I can just worry about him being forward from the leg, or since we're on the ground, from the stick. So let's give that a try. Good boy, come on. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Come on, come on. So you can see he's a little bit tentative and a little bit confused, so we want to put enough pressure on that he'll move forward, but then we want to give him a little bit of a break so that he can feel a little bit relaxed again. But it's important that the horses move forward. The more forward we move throughout the process, the less likely when we go to get on them, they're going to be bucking or carrying on. So it's important that they move forward off of the step. So we'll do it a little bit the other way. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Come. Good boy. Come. Come on. Come on. Walk. Good boy. Walk. Come on. Good boy. Come on. Walk. Good boy. Good. So a little bit sticky there. Not 100% sure what I want, but he's getting it little by little. So now what we'll do is we'll start to get him familiar with the tack. I like to use a racing exercise saddle for a couple of reasons. One, it's very inexpensive, so if the horses do something and throw it into the ground, you don't have to worry about losing an expensive piece of equipment. Also, when you go to belly the horses, you don't have to worry about a pommel or a cantle sticking up into you, so it's very comfortable before you throw the leg over. Good boy. So he doesn't seem too worried by this part, but you got to be careful about cinching the girth up. A lot of horses, they'll get girthy and they'll buck the first time they have a girth on. So I like to start out with it relatively loose and then go back to lunging in the stall. So I'll put it on loose, I'll lunge 1 or 2 circles, tighten it a hole, lunge 1 or 2 circles, tighten it a hole so that they won't get girthy. During the process of getting them used to the tack and used to the bit and bridle, it's important to keep the halter on underneath. Since they don't understand what the bit is, we can't use that as a point of control. We have to continue to use the halter as a way of influencing them until they're used to the bit, and then we can begin to educate them on what that means. We're just getting used to it being there to start out with. With young horses, it's probably smart to have the bit a hole higher than you would with your older horses in case they want to get their tongue over the bit. They're less likely to do that if the bit's higher in the mouth. That looks pretty good. And he seems pretty happy about all that, so we'll go back to the lunging, and again I'll tighten the girth up a little bit once he's going forward. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. See, he's starting to get the idea of it a little bit. Still not quite sure. And another thing they'll do a lot of times is when you go to do this, they'll just spin their hind legs around the front legs again. That's the horse not moving forward, and we want to get them over that behavior as well. Walk. Walk, walk, walk. Walk, walk. Good boy. Good boy. Hello. So you can already see, just in this session, he's starting to understand that a little bit better. Again, we'll go up another hole with the girth. Take time every once in a while to make sure that they're relaxed, pet them, make them feel like you're on the same side as them before you go back to putting pressure on. Walk on. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Walk on. Walk, walk, walk. Walk, 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 walk. And good boy. So, a lot of progress just in that one session. When I started out, he didn't really understand what the stick was. He didn't really understand what we were doing, but towards the end, he understood that I stayed behind his shoulder, and he stayed in front of my leg. you know, that's all going to relate to what happens when you get on him, but towards the end when I would touch him with the stick, he moved right off, whereas at the beginning he stuck on it.